Welcome to Soul Prism Podcast, where we share bite-sized nuggets of wisdom for your body, mind, and soul to serve you, the emerging soulpreneur. My name is Tammy Mack, and I'm so excited to talk about this topic today. Just give me one moment here. I'm going to go live in my Facebook group. So I'm really excited to talk about this topic today. This topic is all about our open head and ajna and our open roots in human design. So this morning I woke up and I was not feeling the greatest. I didn't have a lot of energy. I had to get up and I had to drive my son to work in the morning. And so my sleep pattern was dysregulated already. And so what do? I do the unthinkable. I go and I grab my phone and I start filling myself up on really useless crap. And so I slid into my DMs and I have this group with a bunch of coaches. And earlier in the week, I invited this coach to share her freebie, in the group. And so she in the DMs was so excited because she had a lot of new interest in her group through that freebie. Now, my open head and my open root instantly was, my energy was already in lack mode. I was already in scarcity. I was not full of my own energy. And so the first thing that I do was like, oh my gosh, my invitation got her so much traction. What is wrong with me? I better be pushing out a freebie today too, so that I can be seen and heard and I can get the traction that she got. Now, many of us, we work into this, right? We work into comparison, right? Comparing ourselves to other. A lot of times when we're not in our own energetic alignment, we start really wanting to look outside of ourselves to get inspired, to get some energy moving, to get some ideas, to find our next aligned action step. And so this is why I always coach my clients to come back to their own energy first. It is so important to start your day in that Creatrix frequency, in your own energy frequency, before you go onto social media or watch the news or have conversations with other people. Because what happens, especially when you're waking up in a depleted state, when you're waking up and you're not waking up bright, you're not waking up like, a magical unicorn in the morning, and you start consuming, right? Consuming energy, consuming content, consuming ideas, and really comparing ourselves to others. So I found myself in this moment. I did not really notice or wasn't aware of how amazing it was that my invitation was so successful. Right? I didn't see that. All I could see was the lack and the scarcity and the FOMO of, oh my gosh, she is getting more traction than me. And that was my idea, right? So I had to come back into my own energy. And so what I did was I grabbed my cup of coffee, I went outside and I took some deep breaths and I asked myself, what is going on? And I realized I'm tired. Like, I'm a little bit tired. I'm hungry. I need to feed my body. My body is hungry for food. My body was hungry. My energy was low. And so many of us, especially if you're a projector, right? So many times we have these low vibrational thoughts, and our job, our sacred duty, is to transmute that energy, transmute that density. And so what I did was I came back to my spiritual practice of Qigong. And I did a half an hour of movement, of breath, of stretching, of recalibrating my energy, of filling up with universal force energy and really coming back into my own sense of self, so that I was solar powered. So I was full of my own energy. And then I went and made a healthy breakfast. I made, a Denver, and I pulled some radishes from the garden, and I had radishes as well. So that was really helping me come back to my own energetic, really filling my own cup up first, which is what I tell everybody to do. And yet I'm human, right? I'm human as well. I make mistakes, but these mistakes help me to build that energetic mastery, so that next time I fail forward, right? I fail forward, I learn, I recalibrate, I come back to myself. So meanwhile, I DM'd the coach and I said, I told her my story. And this is a story that so many of us soul-based business owners can relate to. The fact that, perhaps one of our friends is doing better than us, and we start making it really personal. Why isn't this happening to me? What is going on with me? What's wrong with me? Instead of really being able to open your heart up with gratitude and happiness for your friend, for your fellow colleague, right? And so I shared this with my colleague, and I actually asked her if she'd be interested in doing a podcast on this as well. So I'm really excited. We talked, and we may be doing a podcast, really talking about, first of all, the open head and the open root, and the pressure that we may feel when we are in this FOMO, when we are not fully connected to our own energy, and we start seeking, we start reaching out, we start getting something else or something outside of ourselves to fill our cup up first before we actually come into our own energy in the morning. Another thing that's going to be really fun to talk about is I'm a projector, where she is a sacral being. And so the way that we use our strategy in order to come back into our own energetic body, really coming into our body. So I'm a projector. And so and I'm splenic. So the first thing that I was thinking about is, what is healthy for me? What is healthy for me in my energy? What does my body need right now in this moment? And so for me, it was food. I needed some food. I needed a cup of coffee. and I needed to transmute that lower density energy that I was moving through and bring it up to a state of peace and joy and happiness and enlightenment, right? Enlightenment. I was aware of the situation. I took the observer effect of what was happening. I didn't make it so personal, and I chose to use it as a teaching moment for myself and for you as well. And so really coming back to our human design strategy, really coming back to our own energy. What is it do I need in this moment? Am I emotionally defined? Do I need time to ride through this wave? And how can I serve my community in the best way? Because really throwing another freebie at you probably isn't the best way to serve you. The way that I love to serve my clients is through intimacy, is through storytelling, it's through being vulnerable, it's through sharing my own trials and tribulations that I'm moving through, so that you can have a little bit of awareness. You might be able to connect with that as well. You might be able to see that in your own life and make those shifts, those changes that you need in order to succeed, right? In order for you to feel successful or satisfied or peaceful or surprised, right? Really coming back to your own energy and allowing the energy to move through you that way, and then getting that next aligned action step. So my next aligned action step was, of course, sharing this process with that fellow coach, creating conversation, creating community. And so now we're going to be doing a podcast on this. Meanwhile, while this was happening, and I was in my limitation of, oh my goodness, my fellow colleague is getting all this interest. The universe was in a bigger play for me. And so meanwhile, somebody else was reading my comments and reading my content, and decided that, hey, like, I kind of want to work with her. And what she's sharing is really, I feel it a lot as well. And so that was, the way that my energy was working. It wasn't through rocking out with my cock out, throwing lead magnets and throwing all these freebie offers out, but instead being real, being truthful, being honest, and opening my energy out. So, we have our physical body, our spiritual body, our physical body. And then we have around us in our aura, we have our emotional body, right? So what emotions were coming up that needed to be cleared? What emotions did I want to calibrate back to so that I can feel more of myself? Then we have the mental body. What was I thinking? What was I being inspired by? What level, what awareness of my thoughts, were they helping me, or were they being leaking, right? Where it was I leaking energy by all of a sudden wanting to do something, being pulled, being pushed by my openness instead of coming back into myself. And so this is something that I teach in Creatrix of Your Money Matrix, especially if you are a soul-based business, if you are a coach, if you are a healer, if you have products that you are serving from your soul, you're in alignment with the multidimensionality of who you are, not just your ego, not just this lifetime, not just who you are in your body, but who you are in that multidimensionality of your soul. And really connecting back into your soul, asking your soul to guide you, asking your soul team, your spiritual advisors, your masters, your goddesses, whoever it is that you're working with, to support you, to guide you, to show you. One of the guides that I work with really, really closely is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the Hindu goddess of beauty, of prosperity, but she doesn't just give it to you, right? It's like she's not just going to give you the lottery winning ticket, because if you don't learn the lessons, if you don't find the blessings from the lessons, then you're just going to spend all that money and you're not going to be able to keep it because you don't have those lessons within you to really hold the capacity. So when I work with Lakshmi, what she teaches us is she brings your shit to the surface. She brings all your limitations. She brings all that ugliness. She brings all of those past mistakes and all those past experiences. She brings all of that up to the surface for it to be cleared, so that you can, when you do attract the beauty and you attract the abundance, you attract the prosperity, you're able to hold it. You're able to build that capacity to hold it within you. Right. So working with different spiritual masters, working with different ascended masters, working with spiritual teachers, and really, like, this is my way of working. This is the way that I love to guide, is through storytelling, right? Through storytelling, through the universal teachers, the different philosophies, the different religions, the different ways, historically, how it is that our teachers have showed us a better way. And so that's it for me today. I just really wanted to share how waking up in the morning and creating your day from your own unique frequency of abundance is going to serve you so much more than grabbing your phone and filling yourself up with other people's content, with other people's stuff, right? If I would have seen that comment after I was full of myself, right? After I was in my energy, I was ready for the day, I would have been able to see it at a different vantage point. I would have really, truly been super happy for her, instead of putting on that, fake grin and like, yay, you, right? now I really am so excited for her. I'm really excited that the way that she is moving in her business, that's in alignment with her, is working for her and coming back to my own energy and the way that I attract my soulmate clients. All right. Have a wonderful day.